here's part 6 of our lovely Clock Tower 3 playthrough.
Continuing to evade the stalker chopper in this one.
Who's pretty lame. Going out the elevator. Seriously, I hate that if you go up 2 floors, you have to watch.
Yeah, I don't know, it's...
Yeah.
I guess it's sort of good to give you a reference how many floors you're traveling.
Well, if you're hitting the button and you don't realize, like, you're bad at math, and that's not the game's fault. Oh, whatever, Chopper. And see, this is something that I don't really like, especially about this one, is that Chopper never seems scary, he seems inconvenient to what I'm trying to accomplish.
He just kind of gets in the way of all this bullshit that we're having to do to open a door.
And because there's no evade points here, it's not like you can make him go away. So it's literally, he's just there to, like, cause you a little bit of trouble.
You just kind of have to duck around him.
Yeah, like, it's not scary. It's frustrating.
Yeah, that's the thing I find with, and I mean, even Clock Tower, the original Clock Tower and the PlayStation 1 game, they tend to sort of fall into this trap occasionally, is that you get used to being chased, and then it just becomes, annoying.
Yeah, at least with the original Clock Tower, I believe you could not continue the story till you got rid of the person chasing you.
Yeah.
Where with this one, like... And you'll notice here, I can't get into the door.
I was gonna say, that looks like that might need a card key.
Which I neglected to get, so we're gonna go get that.
Good.
Yeah, don't worry. When I got the crowbar, I needed to go back and open up that panel. We couldn't before, but I forgot to do that.
I think with the original Clock Tower, and it might just be because it is a shorter game, and as a result, they're able to kind of do this more. We didn't see Scissor Man that much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, I mean, it's sort of the same principle that Amnesia uses, is that the less often you're able to see your pursuer, the more scary they are when they actually do show up. You don't become used to seeing them and used to having them chase you.
Yeah, they're not in your face all the time.
Yeah, and I feel like after 3, we're in the 3rd level now for Clock Tower 3, we're kind of just used to being chased and having to run and evade, and so I sort of wish that maybe as we got further in the game...
he learned how to use the elevator.
Oh,
I'm so proud of him.
Good for you. But it'd be kind of nice if they varied the attack styles of the different subordinates. Maybe if they, I don't know, just had a different way of pursuing you, or just something that just gave each of their levels a little more character, so that you're not getting used to the same kind of play style of he chases you, you evade.
Yeah, so it's not so routine.
Yeah.
And it is very routine.
Yeah.
At least with the original Clock Tower, even the later sequels, they had little parts where they'd pop out. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, they do pop out here, but it's more just like, oh, I came around the corner.
Yeah.
It's not something cool like, oh, I popped out of the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. So this is kind of a sad little note here. Somebody who attempted to rescue a loved one and
got trapped by Chopper.
Yeah.
Presumably.
And he lost his spectacles.
This is kind of a weird, off form for, Chopper, because instead of killing... Well, I mean, he did kill him, but it was very, passive.
I took it to be that he, like, winged him or something, and he, like, crawled down here to hide. And he became trapped because he lost his glasses, and apparently this dude is, like, Velma levels of I can't see without my glasses, because...
I'm pretty sure that Chopper just closed the door on him.
Yeah, I guess... Well,
I can speak as a blind person, and I'm very blind without my glasses.
Yeah.
Believe you me. Even if you can't see, you would be able to find a ladder.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if maybe, like, the hatch closed after him, because as we saw, it couldn't be opened without a crowbar, so maybe it snapped shut on him and he wasn't able to get out.
Wouldn't it be a fun puzzle if when you went down here, Chopper closed the hatch on you and you had to find some way of getting out?
Yeah.
Like, that would be a fun little puzzle that was actually kind of terrifying.
Yeah.
I don't have to catch Chopper, I hate you.
The be great if Alyssa caught it.
Catched it?
Catched it,
Yeah.
She catched it good. If she, like, was, like, just able to, like, if you ninja it out of the air.
Yeah. Well, as you can see during the boss fight, you can actually kind of do that.
Oh,
kind of. It's not...
Well, you caught that one with your face.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm impressed, bro. Alright, so we're gonna,
help
use
us
the fishy
fish.
tank again.
Presumably we just, like, we're not even, like, crouching down. We're just kind of, like, hiding behind the glass. In this little corner of the room, he's just too lazy to move, like, an extra few feet forward.
Maybe Chopper needs glasses.
Alright, Toodles.
No, he's coming back.
Are there any fish in this? Oh, there is!
Yeah, he's swimming around. And see, that's why this fails to be scary, because instead of being like, oh, he might catch me, you're like, fish. So cool.
I just feel like it's just kind of, I don't know, that wasn't a really good hiding spot, because that's just, it's one of those hiding spots where the killer has to be really lazy not to find you.
Yeah.
Which, I don't like those.
They're most of them. At least with Bobby, like in the first game, he was a small child, like, and presumably not that bright.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it kind of made sense that you'd go in a room and he wouldn't be able to find you.
Yeah, but
and, I mean, even then, you could screw yourself over really good with a hiding spot, like if you went into the bedroom without silencing that dumb parrot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, like, all the subordinates in Clock Tower 3, they're all adults who should be rationally capable of sniffing out the, like,
plus, I mean, it's not their first rodeo.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point to make, too. Like,
Yeah.
these guys have killed, like, in some cases, like, at least, like, 50 people.
It's their job.
Yeah, and so they just sort of seem like inept, bumbling.
Fools.
Yeah.
And I mean, you could argue that, oh, Alyssa's a rooter and she's outsmarting them, but that's not a good argument because it doesn't take someone with magical powers to hide behind a fish tank.
It's like outsmarting a dog by putting a blanket over their head. It's just like, yeah, okay, you could call that outsmarting, but you're not.
Well, the funny thing is, having lots of dogs and putting blankets on their head, they're not really outsmarted. They just kind of get annoyed at you that you've done this, and they accept it, and they just kind of lie down.
This
is
my life now.
Yeah, they're like, when you're done, I guess.
Alright.
Like, I've never had a dog not get, like, irritated at me for doing that. But even then, they'll play along.
Yeah.
Anyways.
And,
So, yeah, apparently, we have a factory in our house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
And they picked a sound for this baby. And it is a baby, if you couldn't tell.
It sounds more like a baby doll. It's a very fake.
Or a baby goat.
And it's just like the same cry.
Yeah. This was not a good purchase, sound clip-wise.
Yeah.
Unless they had someone come in and record, in which case your baby's broken.
It literally sounds like one of those baby dolls that, like, you just, like, kind of move them and they go, "Wah," like there's something in the belly that just, like, makes a moo noise almost.
Do you think that was it? I think
That's
that
what
was probably it. They probably just had a
sounds
baby
like
doll.
anyways.
Yeah. We can't afford to buy anything on stock sites, and we can't afford to have a real baby come in, so just gonna use this baby doll.
It's better at least than some shows where they have what is clearly like an adult person just make goo goo gaga sounds. Yeah, and it's just the most.
Oh, weird. Ugh.
So Alyssa seems to, I don't know, I almost read that expression on her face as one of recognition there. Because as we're gonna see...
Well, I wouldn't almost read it. I think it was just recognition.
Yeah.
You don't need to pussyfoot around it.
Well...
Where are you?
But yeah, so...
Oh no, we're in a blur filter.
This is the brightest we've seen this game.
They upped the bloom. Whoa, Nancy, you need to re-dye those roots, hon.
My creepy, creepy baby.
This has been handed down in the hamster.
Mom, I don't know. That is a huge baby.
Oh, Nancy, you poor soul, you had to push that one out.
1 inch of love,
Like, I'm pretty sure baby skulls aren't automatically the same size as an adult
Yeah,
skull.
they have to grow. It's definitely, now that you've pointed it out, that looks like a huge baby.
It's a big baby. Alyssa, you were a giant baby.
Watch the necklace in this scene here, because it flips out because of physics.
Ah.
Whee!
Hey,
Philip, darling, father, Alyssa has lost.
So at this moment, I believe Nancy is meant to be in her 20s.
Oh, we can't come see because I'm too busy killing your husband. Oh, it's a struggle.
Oh,
What he's doing, Dick?
friggin' tenacious grandpa.
Stop, Dick! Don't do
Don't be a dick, Dick.
Oh, convenient.
Yeah, I kind of... Boom. Yeah,
Speed lines.
So, we previously talked about Alyssa's father, and I mean, this is the cause of his disappearance here. This is Alyssa's grandfather, who I don't think we've seen in the game prior to this yet.
We've seen photos of him.
Yeah.
Aww.
But, yeah, so as it turns out, Alyssa's grandfather murdered Alyssa's father.
Yep. Chopper had the power to show her this or something?
I guess. What do you make of the fact that the axe, like, moved in place? Was there something...
pretty dumb.
Was there something... Is that meant to be something spooky going on?
Maybe.
Because, like, the rooter powers are only in women, so it's not like Alyssa's grandfather has spooky powers at this point
Well,
to
wasn't
will
it
it.
indicated that he was part of the Burrows
Oh,
line?
spoilers!
We're discussing them anyways.
But not until they're timely! God.
This is timely.
We're never... No!
This is totally timely. So anyways, maybe he has some dark supernatural powers.
I don't know. I guess, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
But yes, so, I mean, this is probably the first clear instance we've seen that Alyssa's grandfather is actually a huge dick.
It's funny because his name is Dick.
Shh.
Yeah, those pants.
Yeah, that's a good view of Chopper there.
They're, yeah.
How did he hold on those pants? They must be, like, taped to his thighs.
Oh, pretty much. Either that or he's just constantly showing his Frankenbeans.
He just painted his pants on, maybe.
Well, maybe they're tattooed on.
So this looks like the shittiest place to have a boss fight. It's really enclosed, and there is not a lot of places to run to.
This is also the first boss fight that we've had without a sentimental item.
That's...
So how do you think this will play out?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do sort of like that they throw in this boss fight to kind of change the rules up a bit. At the same time, I don't know, I feel like...
It kind of throws a wrench in the works, because before we were thinking that Alyssa was able to transform because of the sentimental item. Now, it just appears she can do it when she feels like it?
Yeah, which makes it sort of call into question, like, why can't she just be armed with the bow and arrow at all times? Why do we have to rely on the bottle of water instead?
Yeah.
It just kind of...
Sucks.
Yeah. I like the big blood stain in the middle from where our dad died.
I think we're standing on it right now.
Yeah.
Yep. It's alright, Dad.
Imagine if, like, we had to do the boss fight with his body lying there.
Oh god, that would be awkward. Sorry, Dad, I'll just move so that I don't step on your head.
Yeah. Oh, you're...
Yeah, I've got him, but it's not the right pattern yet.
It looks pretty decent, but you've had troubles before with triggering the,
Yeah.
There it is.
There, we got it. But yeah. Like, it does seem to indicate that you need to pin them from several angles, but it never really... Because you could see in the Corroder fight, I only had him pinned 3 times, but I was able to activate it, and that's because I had him at the right angles. But it's kind of arbitrary.
And, as we can see here...
He summoned some Quicksand.
Yeah. Which, I do have to wonder, why couldn't he have done this earlier? I like how he just saunters away.
It wasn't storyline relevant at the time.
Yeah. A lot of Clock Tower 3 plot happens because it's relevant, not because it feels like a natural result of...
I wouldn't even say relevant. It happens because it's convenient.
Yeah.
Spooky cemetery.
Hmm.
We're waking up in an unknown place again. So, if he could just suck her into quicksand, why doesn't he just come kill her now? Like, he just summons her to this realm and fucks off?
I guess it's like, I don't know, maybe it's meant to tie in with the fact that the subordinates are all about causing suffering in their victims. Maybe it's like the Riddler, they can't help themselves, but like, you know, the Riddler can't help but leave riddles at the scene of his crimes. And I guess maybe the subordinates can't not,
Subordinate?
This is kind of dumb here, because like...
Yep, I woke up with the letter.
I woke up with it literally clasped in my hand.
I'm gonna read this in my grandfather's voice.
It is more than I can bear.
So, at this point, we don't even get, like Alyssa in the background.
Yeah,
They
it's
just gave up on that.
Yeah.
So, we see here that, yeah, if it wasn't, apparent before, Dick totally did not like Philip.
Yeah, he only consented to the marriage because, as we kind of saw in an earlier note, Dick becomes, like, really, like, protective of the Rooter line. And I mean, as we can see here, he gets mad at Nancy because Nancy doesn't want to raise Alyssa to be a Rooter. Like, Dick is just super into the Rooter stuff.
He is.
To the point of obsession.
Which I guess is his character point.
Yeah, we're gonna see that this kind of lays the foundation for his primary obsession in the game.
Man will never be accepted as one of us.
Ooh. As though in haste.
Finally,
This scene was written in great haste.
Yes.
I could no
Oh, now
longer
that I've
allow
murdered
him to
someone, let me
defy
write down in my diary.
That headstrong act has turned me into a vile
It's okay.
murderer.
I mean, if they can't find the body, they can't,
I
he's
like-
innocent, right?
I like how he's like this headstrong act. It's like you like struggled with him for like 2 minutes, like trying to throw him off
Yeah,
the balcony.
This was not a crime of passion.
Yeah, you could just
This
stop
was-
any time.
Yeah, come on, man.
So he mentions here handling the police carefully. I mentioned in an earlier video that there was a fan theory that the body that we found in the bathroom of Alyssa's home was her father. So that kind of last sentence there, that's the main bit that kind of calls that theory into question, because it does seem to indicate that that the police were called to the Hamilton house to presumably cart away Alyssa's father's dead body.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, obviously the reasoning would be, well, if Dick tried to hide the body in the house, why would he call the police?
This is like a stage play.
Yeah.
The other thing that kind of throws a wrench in that theory is how long has that body been in there? Someone would notice the smell.
Well, not even here's the thing, is that after a while, bodies, like, there's a point in decomposition where smell just stops being a factor into it.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's been, like, 15 years, then I could feasibly see that it wouldn't smell anymore.
I couldn't. Well, I mean, it wouldn't smell, but it does because you have to use the lavender
Yeah,
water.
that's the thing, is that realistically a body wouldn't smell, but the game specifically tells us that it does smell. And there's also the fact that it's like a bathroom in a main hallway, so presumably Nancy would have discovered it.
Yeah.
But we're talking over an important part here. These are all former Rooters who have been killed as a result of the ritual of engagement.
By Chopper, specifically.
So,
These become the special ghosts in the game we have to save?
yeah, they basically take the same role that Dorothy and Albert and May and her father did.
Mm-hmm.
I won't lie, I don't really like this level that much because I don't feel like they did enough of a job,
Establishing them?
yeah, I don't feel as much emotional impact helping them out as we did the other. So,
Because they just show up, do a little, like, ghost play, and then
Yeah.
just screw off.
I think if we put more focus on the Rooters, then we would have wanted to help them out more.
Yeah, they tried to cram too many things into this level, and
Yeah.
everything just comes off kind of half-cocked.
Yeah, I do feel like maybe the game could have benefited from maybe at least like 1 or 2 more levels. They kind of dicked themselves over with the, and as we've seen the necklace that Nancy was holding, that's the necklace we've been collecting parts for in the game. And of course, it being a clover, there's 4 pieces to it, so we have 4 main levels, essentially. So that kind of limits them to only have, 4 main subordinates, when I do wish we could have had more, just to give the game more time to flesh out the story a bit.
Well, I mean, they have 5 subordinates.
Oh,
but,
yes.
Yeah.
Technically.
I've already mentioned the Scissor Twins.
Well, they're technically,
They're sort of one, but they're sort of two.
they're one entity,
Yeah.
essentially, even though they're 2 people.
It's kind of weird. So could you have, like, an army that was an entity? Like,
Maybe.
how far can they stretch their powers?
Yeah. So,
Ooh.
if you remember from the quick vision we got, let me just preen on top of the statue.
His voice is so strange to me.
It's, yeah.
Kind of Kermit-y.
Oh no.
Ritual of engagement will begin shortly.
It's always weird to me for a lip-synced game to be essentially dubbed over, because, I mean, this was originally Japanese. That said, I haven't played the Japanese version. Maybe it was English,
Yeah.
the dubbing.
I always
Anyways.
find a little note from our mum.
Oh, just stop to read it. Axeman will give us time. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, so this one, Nancy sort of seems to understand that the entities are going to be coming for Alyssa.
So did they stop after your 15th birthday? Did they stop coming?
Well, I guess the thing is the ritual of engagement can only be performed on your birthday. So if they're going to be trying to create a new entity, that's the only time that they're able to do it. But I'm sure that they probably will take pleasure in killing a leader regardless. So if they want to increase their...
Oh, jeez.
That's some nice little flippies you're doing there, boy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I end up using almost all my little materials in this part. I screw up more than I've ever screwed up in the game.
And is it because of his speed, or...
I think so.
Yeah.
Also, you'll see here that I get a nice hiding spot, but my, you'll see.
Nice trick. Oh, nice trick.
And again, we return to the sheer curtain.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But you can see there that my panic's rising.
Nice trick.
Oh?
Yep. And it's the first example you can see that when Alyssa gets overly panicked, she leaves her hiding spot.
Uh-huh.
So luckily I have a lot of sigil stones. You're gonna see me take quite a few hits, unfortunately.
So now, for the sigil stones, you have to activate them before you get a hit?
No, they just automatically take.
Oh, okay, I see. So I guess I do wonder with Nancy, because as we saw in the note, she was aware that Alyssa was in danger. I mean, we're gonna see, clearly Alyssa's grandfather, might be up to no good. I do wonder if Nancy knew that there was a greater threat to Alyssa than just the entities and subordinates possibly coming after her, like,
Yeah, how much did Nancy know?
yeah.
Was she aware that her dad killed her husband?
Yeah. Did she have any sort of inkling of it?
So I realized pretty quick here that I was doing the puzzle wrong and he was all up in my grill. So I'm just gonna get the hell out of Dodge for now.
It's kind of confusing to Nancy's motives because Dennis had mentioned that Nancy had run into him on her way somewhere and she gave him the key to her grandfather's, I believe it was the grandfather's study.
Yeah.
So, I'm sort of confused by what Nancy was trying to do. She sent Alyssa to boarding school, presumably because she feels that Alyssa being sent away from the house would protect her. But then she sends Alyssa the letter telling her not to come home, allegedly she also phones Alyssa, probably trying to warn her, and then we see that Nancy has apparently tried to flee the house in the car. Where Nancy was trying to go, it's never really adequately explained. Alyssa sort of surmises that maybe her mother was trying to come and get her, which sort of seems a bit weird, because if you're trying to tell Alyssa to go into hiding, and then you send this letter, and then all you do is basically follow the letter in your car, I don't know, I guess Nancy's actions just seem really confusing to me.
They're kind of weird, for sure. I realized I have to go back and do that, so... kind of the inevitability right now.
It does seem to at least kind of get Chopper off her tail. Oh, never mind. Never mind.
This is the only area in this level where Chopper appears.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All the other ones, he is not there.
Yeah.
So let's try to use that hiding spot again. Since my panic is much lower, it should work. Except if he hits me with that axe.
And the freaking moths coming after you.
Yeah, Chopper has a lot of moths.
Yeah.
I wonder if he, named them, if they're his pets.
Oh, nice
It definitely, seems like, I guess, knowing that this is the only part of the level he appears in, they definitely want to make it so that you encounter him quite frequently.
Oh, yeah. The hiding spot works, but who cares?
And we are all out of lavender water and invisibility bands.
So we're just gonna have to hope against hope. Luckily, we're fine.
So, did Chopper live here?
I guess so.
Yeah, is he drinking a beer bottle or something?
Oh, probably.
Just chilling out, because he says that this is where all the bones of the people he killed are. Does he have a groundskeeper for the graveyard?
Or is he the groundskeeper? What if he's the groundskeeper? That would be so dumb.
What do subordinates do when they're not chasing after rooters?
Oh, they probably have 9-to-5 jobs.
Just hanging out, in my shitty little
Oh, boss,
shack.
I have to take a day off. I'm gonna have to go, menace a little girl. Oh, that's fine.
Oh, so here we go. Here's,
Harold Powell.
Here's Chopper's backstory. So he proposed marriage to a chick and was cruelly rebuffed. In retaliation, he dismembered the girl he,
That's
was
an
rebuffed
appropriate
by.
reaction,
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I can't tell if they're trying to build sympathy for him there, because I'm just gonna say if you were,
But he's a nice guy.
The type of guy to murder and dismember somebody is probably also the type of guy to give up other social clues in conversation might potentially make a young lady go, I don't think I want to marry you.
You will probably axe murder me.
Yeah, for some reason, something about you tells me you might murder me, so I'm gonna say no. But,
yeah, that's it for part 6.
Join us next time as we continue through the level, I guess trying to see if we could help these rooters to see if we could free them from Chopper.
Woo!
Alright, see you then.